You know, every single time you log into an app or you open a file for work, or really use any online service, there's this invisible gatekeeper working behind the scenes. It's called Identity and Access Management, or IAM for short. And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that is quietly but powerfully shaping our entire digital world. So let's pull back that curtain and see what this system is all about, the one that decides who gets in and who stays out.
And I mean, it is a huge investment. Companies are literally pouring fortunes into these incredibly complex systems. But why? What are they so desperate to control? That is the big question we're going to unpack today, and I'll give you a hint. The answer is probably not what you're thinking.
All right, so at its core, identity and access management, or IAM, is really built on two fundamental ideas. Now, they sound simple, but believe me, understanding the difference between them is everything.
Okay, first up, identity. This is just who you are in the digital world. But here's the crucial part. Who isn't always a person. Sure, an identity can be you, a user with the username and password, but it can also be a server in a data center, a little software process running in the background, or even a smart thermostat. Basically, anything that needs to be uniquely recognized by a system is an identity.
So, the other half of this whole puzzle is access. If identity is who you are, then access is what you're allowed to do. It's the whole set of permissions and rules that says which files you can open, what data you can see, and what actions you can perform. It's the difference between being a guest and being an administrator.
But a really good access management system goes way deeper. It needs to be able to answer 5 key questions. People in the industry call them the 5 rights. Is it the right user trying to get to the right resource? Are they doing it at the right time and for the right reason? And, maybe most importantly, are they getting the exact level of right access they need? Nothing more and nothing less. So when you put all of that together, managing who can do what, when, and why, the most obvious reason for all this effort seems pretty clear, doesn't it? It has to be all about security.
And look, you're not wrong. That's a huge piece of it. Preventing hackers from getting in, stopping a disgruntled employee from walking away with sensitive data, just making sure your account doesn't get taken over, that's a massive part of why IAM exists. It's all about building digital walls and locks to protect the important stuff.
But that brings up a really interesting question. If companies were only motivated by having perfect security, why do we still see so many data breaches from simple mistakes every single day? The truth is, there's another, way more powerful force at play here, something that actually forces organizations to spend this money whether they really want to or not.
So what is this hidden truth? What's the real engine that's driving the crazy growth of this entire industry? Well, it's not just about preventing a data breach. It's about preventing something far, far more costly.
It's one word: compliance. This is the single biggest driver, hands down. It's not just about being secure. It's about being able to prove you are secure to an outside auditor. It's about following the rules.
And what rules are we talking about? We're talking about massive, legally binding regulations with some serious consequences. You've got GDPR in Europe protecting all our personal data. There's Hipaa in the US that protects sensitive health records, and PCI DSS, which governs how credit card information is handled. These are not suggestions. They are laws with very, very sharp teeth.
Right, so here's the crucial point. If a company fails an audit for one of these big regulations, it's not just a slap on the wrist. We are talking about colossal fines, a completely shattered reputation, and in some cases, you could lose your license to operate entirely. You can't sell your product. You can't run your business. The risk isn't just a data leak, it's total business failure.
So whether we're talking about security or we're talking about compliance, it really all boils down to one thing: trust. And in the world of information security, that trust is built on 3 fundamental pillars. It's often called the CIA triad.
First up is confidentiality. This is the one we all kind of get instinctively, right? It's about keeping secrets secret. It's the digital lock that makes sure your private messages or your bank account details can only be seen by you. Second, we have integrity. This is all about trusting the data itself. It's the guarantee that the bank balance you see online is the real balance and that nobody has secretly gone in and changed it.
And finally, there's availability. This one's simple. It just means the system works when you need it to. When you gotta log in, the service is online and ready for you. It's not crashed or down for maintenance.
Okay, so let's make this real for a second. Imagine a huge e-commerce website. All 3 of these pillars are obviously important, but if you had to pick just one, which failure do you think would cause the most damage to the business? A failure of confidentiality?
integrity, or availability?
Well, here's how most businesses look at it. If the site goes down, that's an availability failure. Yeah, customers get annoyed, but they'll probably come back later. If the prices are wrong, an integrity failure, that's a big problem, but it's fixable. But if millions of customer credit card numbers get stolen, a catastrophic confidentiality failure, that trust is gone forever. From a business point of view, that's the one that can absolutely kill you.
So how do companies actually go about building these systems? Well, a really simple way to think about it is that IAM is a category of technology, just like cloud computing is a category. And inside that category, you have the big players, the service providers like Okta and SailPoint, who build the actual tools that make it all happen. So let's bring all this together. Why is this topic so incredibly important right now? Well, because the stakes have honestly never been higher, and the industry that's built around it is just absolutely exploding.
Yeah, driven by that relentless pressure of compliance, the identity and access management market is accelerating like crazy. This is no longer some niche little corner of the tech world, it is a foundational pillar of every single modern business.
So what's pouring all this fuel on the fire? Well, first off, governments everywhere are getting way tougher on data protection. New laws are popping up all the time. Second, a lot of companies are reactive. They only spend the money after they get caught and fail an audit. And finally, it's just simple math. The penalty for failing to comply is now astronomically higher than the cost of actually buying and implementing these tools. It's become a forced investment.
Which really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In a world where every company is becoming a data company, and pretty much every part of our lives creates a digital identity, the power to grant or deny access is, well, it's everything. The real question then becomes, who are we trusting to manage the keys to our digital kingdom?